So yes, government must lead the way on energy independence. But each of us must do our part to make our homes and businesses more efficient. Yes, we must provide more ladders to success for young men who fall into lives of crime and despair, but all of us have to do our part as parents to turn off the TV set and read to our children, to take responsibility for providing love and guidance. Yes, we can argue and debate our positions passionately, but all of us must summon the strength and grace to bridge our differences and unite in common effort. Black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American, Democrat, Republican, young, old, rich, poor, gay, straight, disabled, or not, all of us have to come together. In this election, we cannot afford the same political games and tactics that are being used to pit us against one another, to make us afraid of one another. The stakes are too high to divide us by class and region and background, by who we are or what we believe. Because despite what our opponents may claim, there are no real or fake parts of this country. There's no city or town that's more pro-America than anywhere else. We're one nation, all of us proud, all of us patriots. There are patriots who supported this war in Iraq and patriots who opposed it. Patriots who believe in democratic policies and those who believe in Republican policies. The men and women who serve in our battlefields, some may be Democrats, some may be Republicans, others independents, but they fought together and they bled together, and some died together under the same proud flag. They have not served a red America or a blue America. They've served the United States of America. It won't be easy, Ohio. It won't be easy. It won't be quick. But you and I know that it is time to come together and change this country. Some of you may be cynical. Some of you may be fed up with politics. A lot of you may be disappointed and even angry with your leaders. And you have every right to be. But despite all of this, I ask of you what's been asked of Americans throughout our history. I ask you to believe, not just in my ability to bring about change, but in yours. I know this change is possible because I've seen it. I've seen it over the last 21 months. Because in this campaign, I've had the privilege to witness what is best in America. I've seen it in the lines of voters that stretched around schools and churches, in the young people who cast their ballots for the very first time, and those not so young folks who got involved again after a very long time. I've seen it in the workers who would rather cut back their hours than see their friends lose their jobs. In the neighbors who take in a stranger when the floodwaters rise. In the soldiers who re-enlist after losing a limb. I've seen it in the faces of the men and women I've met at countless rallies and town halls across the country. Men and women who speak of their struggles, but also of their hopes, of their dreams. I still remember the email that a woman named Robin sent me after I met her in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sometime after our event, her son nearly went into cardiac arrest. He was diagnosed with a heart condition that could only be treated with a procedure that cost tens of thousands of dollars. Her insurance company refused to pay, and their family didn't have that kind of money. In her email, Robin wrote, "I ask only this of you. On the days when you feel so tired you can't think of uttering another word to the people, think of us. When those who oppose you have you down, reach deep and fight back harder." Ohio, that's what hope is. that thing inside us that insists, despite all evidence to the contrary, that something better is waiting around the bend, that insists there are better days ahead, if we're willing to work for it, if we're willing to shed our fears and our doubts, if we're willing to reach deep down inside ourselves when we're tired, when we're worn out, and we come back fighting harder. Hope. That's what kept some of our parents and grandparents going when times were tough. What led them to say, maybe I can't go to college, but if I save a little bit each week, my child can go to college. Maybe I can't have my own business, but if I work really hard, my child can open one of her own. Hope. It's what led immigrants from distant lands to come to these shores against great odds and carve a new life for their families in America. What led those who couldn't vote to march and organize and stand for freedom, that led them to cry out, it may look dark tonight, but if I hold on to hope, tomorrow will be brighter. That's what this election's about. That's the choice we face right now. Ken, don't believe for a second this election's over. Don't think for a minute that power concedes. We have a lot of work to do. We have to work like our future depends on it in this last week, because it does depend on it this week. In 1 week's time, we can choose an economy that rewards work and creates new jobs and fuels prosperity from the bottom up. In 1 week, we can choose to invest in health care for our families and education for our kids and renewable energy for our future. In 1 week, we can choose hope over fear and unity over division, the promise of change over the power of the status quo. In 1 week, we can come together as one nation and one people and once more choose our better history. That's what's at stake. That's what we're fighting for. And if in this last week you'll knock on some doors for me and make some calls for me and talk to your neighbors and convince your friends, if you'll stand with me and fight with me and give me your vote, then I promise you, we will not just win Ohio, we will win this general election, and together we'll change this country and we will change the world. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Let's get to work.